impact analysis of professional development and self-evaluation. First result. Present Donatella Poliandri, INVALSI.
Thank you very much. This contribution is we did this contribution with Gianpietro, Letizia Gianpietro and Sara Manganelli. Okay. In this paper, we discuss the impact of evaluation and evaluation training, value for schools training, as already told Giuseppe, on the perceptions of teachers regarding the function of self-evaluation, attitudes towards evaluation, and collaborative behaviors among colleagues. So the international literature points out that schools have different capacities in carry out of self-evaluation process path, consistent with the goal set, in the ability to read and interpret the data, and in the ability to use them for the purpose of preparing improvement paths. For this reason, the development of an evaluative culture in the place where learning takes place is assumed to be a strategic objective, purpose for the evolution of the education system at international level. In studies of school improvement, collaborative processes, for example, within and between schools, are considered catalysts for educational change. One of the factors to consider for effective self-evaluation is collaboration among colleagues. And also the shared vision of school, the so-called school culture. The term school culture generally refers to the beliefs, the perceptions, relationships, attitudes, and written and unwritten rules aspect of how a school functions. Yes, about they consider the school function in general, you know. So, but the term also encompasses more concrete issues such as the physical and emotional safety of students, the orderliness of classroom, for example. So it shares between theoretical issue and beliefs, and so the school culture is a sort of an umbrella, you know, concept. But it is more important. Also, so like the larger social culture, a school culture results from both conscious and unconscious perspective of teachers and school principal, and of course of all the community, also of students, of families. So we have also to enable self-evaluation processes in schools an effective process of self-evaluation. We have also to consider training and support self-evaluation, especially in horizontal stand, leadership. So the role of the school principal is very important, is crucial, you know. And in this scenario is posed the value for school action research that INVALSI conduct. As a part of the value self-evaluation expert evaluation project that is a major project financed with the European social funds, which aimed to test the effectiveness of different training models to support self-evaluation activities as outlined by the National Evaluation System. So Giuseppe has already told about Value for School project, so it's not now. Just point out some questions, because just to remember that the characteristics of the training of the evaluation training is decentralized. And it was carried out during the pandemic, the period of the pandemic, and it was blended learning. After a preliminary phase of preparing the framework and administrative procedures. The training activities with schools were developed during the pandemic emergency from the spring 2020 to the end of 21. So I'm going on because you know. So what about this study? In order to evaluate the impact of the training intervention on participants, on teachers, it was decided to use a quasi-experimental evaluation design with a group of schools that received the intervention and a group of control schools, you know. And we administered two web surveys. One wave in the fall of 2020 at the start of the training activities, and the second wave in the fall of 2021 at the end of the activities. The sample referred in this study consists of 544 subjects. The sample consists of all training participants who responded to at least one of the two surveys provided and belonging to school in which at least 6 subjects participated in the survey. Okay. Sorry? Something. I don't know. Okay, go on. Measures. For each scale, we checked the psychometric characteristics. Each scale was subjected to multiple analysis aimed at identifying the most appropriate measurement, model, and item with better psychometric properties. So we did descriptive analysis on all items, exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and multi-level confirmatory factor analysis related to the final measurement model. I will not dwell now on the technical aspects on the scale of the scale validation, because the topic of the session is not methodological. I'm just going to describe what each scale represents and notes, so you have to trust me now about the validation. And so the first scale is the function evaluation. The scale and the function of self-evaluation consist of 2 subscales. One for the knowledge and development function, and the other one for the accountability function. So the scale was developed from the international literature on the topic, but it is a specific built by the research team of INVALSI. So the first one is knowledge and development, and this subscale captures the perceived function of self-evaluation in relation to the knowledge that the results of this process can bring to the understanding of overall school functioning, the design of improvement intervention, and the promotion of teachers' professional growth. And the accountability function, this aspect is strictly connected to the accountability function of school self-evaluation, in particular accountability to students, families, to the peripheral and central administration, to the school community, to the broader educational system. And in this direction, we also explore the communicative value of accountability, you know. But in addition, accountability is also considered in this scale as a tool for control by the relevant authorities about the quality of service provided, of course. The second measure is collaborative behaviors. The scale consists is a small part of the organizational civic behavior scale, and collaborative behaviors here are considered as those that are extra role, and for which there is no reward at the contract level. So collaborative behaviors among colleagues that have more to do with aspects of support when a colleague is absent, confrontation in case of difficulty or concern, or support for new hires. This scale, Attitude Towards School Self-Evaluation, developed by Vanoof et al. And adapted to the Italian context, is aimed to understand the perception of principals and data teams, nuclei interni di valutazione, about the self-evaluation process. And it is split into subscales: attitude towards the purpose of the school of self-evaluation process. So whether or not it is perceived as aimed at improving teacher, whether it can lead to better management or provide a reliable image, so a positive purpose, you know. And attitude towards the sustainability of the school's self-evaluation process. And this subscale is related to the perceived difficulty of completing the process of self-evaluating, the time that the data team spent to do this process, and whether or not much of the school staff is involved. So again, this is technical aspect, you know, but from the standpoint of analysis of data collected with the randomized cluster design, given its characteristic, several issues need to be considered. First of all, the interclass correlation. So this is the most important things that we have to know, because it is expected to be present among the data from members of the same group, which should be more similar to each other than to members of different groups. And of course, in the case of value for schools, it is plausible to expect that teachers from same school would be more similar to each other than they are with teachers from the different schools. So this is our important choice in the analysis. So I am going on because I'm interested to present you the results. So first results. After the training intervention, there is an increase in the perception of the knowledge and development function of self-evaluation, and as well as the accountability function in the group of schools that received the intervention compared to those in the control group. So participants in the training seem to have become more aware of the function of self-evaluation as a knowledge and a learning tool, and at the same time awareness of the accountability function of self-evaluation as a tool for disseminating achievements to the target community also increase in the intervention group. Results about collaborative behaviors. A significant effect of the training intervention on teachers in the group of participating schools was also found in the construct related to collaborative behaviors among colleagues. So after the training intervention, there was an increase in the frequency of these behaviors compared with the teachers in the control group schools. Something different in the attitudes towards school self-evaluation, because changes in attitude towards school self-evaluation depend on the starting level at which teachers view the goal of the goals of the self-evaluation process, and both the sustainability of the process. So, as well as the sustainability of the process. So, attitude towards self-evaluation, on the other hand, have not changed as a result of the training, either in the terms of purpose and in sustainability. Our first conclusion. The training intervention increased the awareness of teachers who participated in the research about the functions that school self-evaluation performs, both those of knowledge and development and those related to accountability. This result is very relevant, considering that on the one hand is in the line with the need to balance both functions in school's evaluation system, and on the other hand, it is consistent with the self-evaluation model of the national evaluation system. The training courses of action provided by the project, peer learning and situational training, may also have strengthened the communicative aspects of accountability, or supported internal evaluation teams, data teams, in better understanding the potential of a communicative use of the self-evaluation form, RAV in Italian, you know. The increase in the frequency with which teachers support and sustain themselves following the training intervention conducted is another important result, as well as being in line with other results obtained on the same sample of teachers in other studies. In line with the relevant literature, teachers' collaborative behavior are a lever for effective self-evaluation processes. Indeed, the training methodologies fostered collaborative modes both within the training group and with colleagues from other schools. So regarding attitude towards school self-evaluation, we have different conclusion, of course, because we saw how the level of initial attitudes about the purpose of and sustainability of the school self-evaluation process has an impact both for schools in the intervention group and those in the control group. Both groups show an even more positive attitude in the post-test phase. However, this positive increase is not attributable to the training intervention. While we would expect an impact of the training intervention on attitude towards self-evaluation, the results shown make us rethink how changing attitude can perhaps occur only after an historical process, you know. The schools that answered the questionnaire the second time did so after going through the self-evaluation process again as required from the national evaluation system. So the more I carry out school self-evaluation, the more my attitude toward evaluation changes. So my attitude can become more and more positive if I do this process and continue to do it. So in conclusion, interventions such as the one conducted in Value for Schools project can support many of those factors considered crucial for the success of school self-evaluation processes. Thank you very much.